Good evening, Internet. Today I'm going to review Sword Art Online. Two things before we proceed. One, this is the first anime I have ever watched, so don't judge me too harshly if you don't like my review. And second, there will be spoilers for the series. And I guess a third point is, I will pronounce things very wrong. So let's just get down to the basics. Did I like it? And the answer is yes, to an extent. I really enjoyed the first 14 episodes, which I would say is the first arc of the season, which deals specifically with Sword Art Online. And then the second part was sort of just, I don't know. It just felt very rehashed, and some parts felt forced. And compared to like the pacing of the first half of the season, it was just very blah. I mean, I didn't terribly dislike it. I watched it all, but it wasn't great. Of course, there were some problems that occurred throughout the entire series, such as the show's treatment of women. Like, Asana is a powerful female character, and she can handle her own, but a lot of the female characters just randomly fall in love with Kyoto. Yeah, once again, I cannot pronounce names. But they just fall in love with him, and there's really no reason they should. Probably the worst instance, I would say, is in the first half when Kyoto and Heathcliff literally have a duel over whether Asana will stay in the Knights of Blood Oath or she'll go with Kyoto. Like, really? A duel? Also, I didn't really understand why his cousin falls in love with him. Like, yes, he's a teenage boy who's hot, but come on. You're gonna fall in love with him after you've been living with him for your entire life, just because you found out he's your cousin and not your brother? Which was really just the problem with the second half of the season, was that you had a lot of things that were like different, but they were rehashed at the same time. Like, you have Heathcliff in the first season, who turns out to be the creator of the game and the person they have to defeat, and then at the same time the antagonist in the second half of the season is also the Elven King inside Alfheim Online, so that's kind of weird. And the cousin's love story is just, it's not as good as Gyarados and Asana's love story, because it's never going to happen, because Gyarados loves Asana, and that's the whole point of the second half of the season, is getting her out of the virtual world. I also found it very funny when they found Yue, because they'd just become a couple, and I was like, it's kind of weird because they can't really have children in an artificial world, and then they just run into this little girl who becomes their child. It's like, that's not forced at all. I mean, I didn't like Yue at first, but she definitely grew on me as a character and a plot device. So, I mean, it wasn't all bad. And there were a lot of things they did well in the series. I especially liked how they dealt with the idea that just because it's a virtual world doesn't mean that real things can occur in there, such as people actually dying, but also the point that Asana and Kyoto actually fall in love in the virtual world. I also liked how they dealt with the main antagonist in the first half of the season, the guy who created Sword Art Online. I forget his name. But I liked how yes, he killed a lot of people because he forced these people to be stuck in there, and 4,000 of them died as a result. But at the same time, they did choose to be there, and as the show points out, real things can happen in the virtual world, and really, what is reality? Like, reality is what we construct, so if something feels real to us, then it is real. And I liked how he came back at the end to help Kyoto defeat the dude who was raping Asana. That was also a weird scene. But besides the marginalizing of the women and the pacing of the second half of the series, I really enjoyed it, and I will definitely be looking for more anime in the future. See you on the other side.